The NBA landscape is shifting beneath our feet, and you need to hear this now. San Antonio Spurs sensation Victor Wembanyama just made history as a unanimous Defensive Player of the Year, and experts are already calling for a total dynasty. Champion Kendrick Perkins is doubling down on a bold prediction that the French phenom will lock down the next 5 consecutive awards because he is a defensive system unto himself. Can Wembanyama recover from his scary concussion in time to dominate Portland for Game 3 on Friday night?
Your brand new iPhone deserves the best protection, and the iLune 3-pack screen protector plus 3-pack camera lens protector has you covered. Don't take risks with your iPhone. Click the link in the video description to shop now on Amazon.
Meanwhile, the intensity in Boston is reaching a fever pitch as the playoffs rage on. Jaylen Brown, the mother of Celtics star Jaylen Brown, is stepping into the spotlight to remind everyone that her son is not just an elite athlete, but a dedicated humanitarian leading the 7US Foundation at MIT. She is sending a direct message to the fanbase that she feels absolutely great about the team's championship potential and is already looking ahead to a pivotal Game 5. The hardware keeps rolling in for the Boston Celtics as guard Derrick White secures the prestigious 2025-26 NBA Sportsmanship Award. Widely respected for his humble personality and unmatched defensive IQ, White is being celebrated as one of the greatest rim-protecting guards in the history of the game. With all-defensive team announcements just around the corner, could this be the first of several major honors for the defensive quarterback this spring? Even after a shocking loss to the 76ers, analyst Nick Wright is refusing to waver on his massive belief that the Boston Celtics will hoist the Larry O'Brien Trophy this year. Despite the frustration of a cold shooting night, Wright insists that Boston remains a title favorite alongside the Oklahoma City Thunder. We are tracking every move in the NBA playoffs, so stay ahead of the game by clicking like, hitting subscribe, and turning on that notification bell right now. What if I told you that we are currently witnessing the greatest defensive force in the history of the NBA? Victor Wembanyama just made history as the first unanimous Defensive Player of the Year. But according to Celtics champion Kendrick Perkins, this is only the beginning of a total defensive dynasty. On a recent episode of the Road Trippin' podcast, Perk didn't hold back, flat out predicting that if Wemby stays on the floor, he's going to lock down the next 5 or 6 DPOY trophies in a row. It sounds like a wild claim, but look at the tape. He is essentially a one-man defensive system that changes how opposing teams even approach the paint. We're talking about a guy who doesn't just block shots. He negates entire offensive possessions before the ball even leaves a player's hand. Even his peers, like De'Aaron Fox, admit that he completely warps the geometry of the game. Wemby himself isn't shy about his ambitions, having famously told Rudy Gobert to enjoy his awards while he can because, in his words, it wouldn't be his turn much longer. Now, the big concern is his health, especially after that scary head-first fall led to a concussion. But with reports from Shams Charania suggesting he is already back to cardio work and eyeing a return for Game 3, it looks like this unstoppable force isn't slowing down anytime soon. Do you think a 5-year streak is realistic for this 7'4" anomaly, or is the competition going to find a way to adapt? Drop your predictions in the comments below, and make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the rest of this historic playoff run. After all, we aren't just watching a great player, we're watching a player change the sport forever. Ever wonder what fuels an NBA superstar behind the scenes? It turns out, for Boston Celtics standout Jaylen Brown, the secret sauce isn't just in the gym, it's in the values he was raised with. I'm talking about his mother, Jaylen Brown, who is hitting the headlines right now with total confidence in her son's squad as they charge through the playoffs. She's not just a fan, she's his biggest advocate. But here is the real kicker. Jaylen's impact goes way beyond the hardwood. Jaylen recently sat down to talk about the 7US Foundation. That's JUICE, by the way, a project Jaylen started to bring STEM and STEAM opportunities to kids across Boston. Think about it. A guy who spends his nights battling for championships is spending his days mentoring future scientists at MIT. It's a powerful contrast. Jaylen explains that the name 7US comes from his high school days, where he was always the spark plug on the court. It's that same energy he's using now to light a fire under the next generation. What's truly fascinating is how Meckel sees him. When she watches him play, she doesn't just see the professional athlete. She sees the kid who used to bounce a basketball in her kitchen all night. She famously told him, "Basketball is what you do, it's not who you are." That mindset is what's allowed Jaylen to become an MIT Media Lab fellow and a thought leader at Harvard summits. He isn't just an athlete, he's a lifelong learner. As for the playoffs, Meckel is as cool as a cucumber. She isn't worried for a second because she knows exactly how much work these guys put in. Her message to the team: keep grinding, play your game, and the results will follow. She's already looking ahead to Game 5 with total faith. If you're inspired by how Jaylen is balancing legacy building with elite performance, do me a favor and hit that like button. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Can the Celtics go all the way this year? Drop a comment below and let's keep the conversation going. At the end of the day, it's refreshing to see a star who understands that his biggest legacy isn't written in a box score, but in the lives he changes off the court. Is there anything Derrick White can't do? The Boston Celtics guard just added another piece of hardware to his trophy case, taking home the 2025-26 NBA Sportsmanship Award. And honestly, nobody is surprised. When you think of the ultimate teammate, you think of White. It is a massive honor, especially considering this award is voted on by the players themselves. It just goes to show that while fans might focus on the highlight reels, the guys actually grinding on the court really value the professional integrity White brings to the game every single night. He is only the second Celtic to ever win this, joining Jrue Holiday, who snagged it last year. It looks like there is a bit of a nice guy dynasty brewing in Boston, doesn't it? But while this award celebrates his character, the real question is, what is next? Because let's be real, his defense this season has been nothing short of elite. White finished 6th in the Defensive Player of the Year voting, which is a massive statement of respect from media members across the league. Think about it. He stepped into that defensive quarterback role after the roster shuffle and didn't miss a beat. Averaging over a steal and a block per game is rare for a guard, but White is doing things we haven't seen since the days of Dwayne Wade and Michael Jordan. Watching him swat shots at the rim is becoming as routine as a layup, and he even tied the all-time record for blocks by a guard in a single game this year with 7. Coach Joe Mazzulla wasn't kidding when he said White's evolution has been special. As we look ahead to the official all-defensive team announcements, it is hard to imagine a world where Derrick White isn't on that list. He is the heartbeat of that Celtics defense, and he deserves every bit of recognition coming his way. What do you think? Does White belong in the conversation for the best defensive guard of all time? Let me know your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to hit that subscribe button for more deep dives into the NBA season. After all, when you play the game the right way, the accolades are bound to follow. Is the Boston Celtics championship window starting to slam shut, or is this just another speed bump in a long postseason road? After a truly ugly Game 2 loss to the 76ers, the panic button is being smashed by fans everywhere, but not by Nick Wright. On the latest episode of First Things First, Wright doubled down on his bold prediction that Boston is still the team to beat, placing them right behind the Thunder in his latest NBA tiers. His take: it's simply the cost of doing business. When you build your entire offensive philosophy around firing up 45 threes a night, you have to accept the reality that some nights, the lid stays on the rim. Wright argues that the Celtics aren't sweating the outcome because they're playing the long game. It's an interesting perspective, treating a playoff loss not as a systemic collapse, but as a statistical inevitability. History backs this mindset too, since Boston has historically struggled in home Game 2s over the last few years. While the Thunder currently look like the juggernaut to beat, the betting markets and the experts still view Boston as the team to take the East. It's a reminder that in the NBA, one bad shooting night doesn't equal a failed season. So I want to know what you think. Is Nick Wright being delusional about these Celtics, or is he the only one keeping a level head in the midst of the chaos? Drop a comment below with your pick for the finals. At the end of the day, basketball is a game of variance, but championships are won by the teams that refuse to flinch when the shots stop falling.